What's going on today, guys? Getting ready to fire up the old Chevy 2, filling up the radiator because I have a couple leaks. I don't think there are any on the backside. I think when we were towing it, might have got some rocks kicked up, but that's not a big deal. I can always silver solder those, especially right now. Oops, we're getting full. All right, so got the hose ready in case something catches fire. Let's go over what I got yet. So we got some fresh rubber on this bad boy. I think the rear is leaking though, but that's fine. I'm not worried about it. It's not really fresh. It's used tires, but they'll do the job better than the ones that had like the huge rips in the sidewall. So went ahead, went through, turned the key on, made sure this was not just shorting out anywhere. Looks like I got another leak back there with the heater core hoses. Not a big deal. I'm not going to run those yet. I do have a heater core for it. I'll put it in closer to winter. So carb's been cleaned. If you haven't watched the last video, hopefully that came out okay. So I put a little gas in it. We'll see what happens here. It's going to be a lot of background noise. It's harvest time. Nothing I can do about that. So let's hook up the battery, see if it sparks a little bit. I'm really hoping this fires up. I'm guessing it's not. I really hope it doesn't turn into an all-day thing. I hope I can knock this out in one video. I'm going to try my best to. We'll see what happens here, I guess. So let's get started. So hopefully this is a good view for everything. I'm going to go ahead and hook up the battery. I'm going to do positive first, and then I'll do negative. Both of them are still in here, and they are not. What? Oh. There I am. Hold on here. I thought I consolidated the other day, but I didn't. I'm just gonna throw those on the ground over here, and I'll pick them up in a bit. All right, positive first, if we can reach. So I also went ahead and put a rubber mat here, so that way it doesn't arc out. Arc out on the radiator. Go the right way, everything will be okay. Okay, now I'm going to grab the negative, which hopefully still reaches, and I'm going to pray that this thing doesn't blow up in my face. It shouldn't, but you never know. I should have done a battery disconnect on this. Oh gosh, that ground is so short. All right, 1, 2, 3. I got my eyes closed. Nothing's blown up. I don't smell any smoke yet. So we're doing good. I'm always a little leery about fueled cars because they get mice in them. Obviously, if you've watched the other videos of me cleaning the mice nest out of here, you would know that mice were in here. With that comes the fun of mice chewing on wires. So before I put some more fuel in there, because I've already put fuel in there, I was hoping to wet the seals. I did chalk the wheels as well. I'm going to just try to see if it cranks over. We'll see what happens here. I'm going to roll down the window, reach in. Alright, let's see what happens here. Sounds like it wants to go. I did see some smoke coming up here, so maybe she's wanting to fire. Let's put a little gas in here. It's either wiring burning or the alternator. Okay, hopefully that's not too much. Let's give this a go again. I have no control of the throttle right now, so okay, let me give it the old giggly gas, see if that'll help. This would be a lot easier with 2 people, I should say. a half tank of gas, but it's not hooked up. So, okay. Whew, that's pretty cool. So it does turn over. That's a good start, a really good start. I also still am not sure. Let me go get a hose and I'll come right back. Okay, so my goal here was with the hose is I can get a lot better control of trying to not flood the stupid car out, which I may have already done. And that may be a lot of my problems right now. It's also an interesting noise back here. Let's see if we can just get it started. I should probably key on and see if I'm actually getting power to the points. That noise is back there. So here's something else interesting. Let's see. If you look down there, a rat's nest just came out of the bell housing cover. That's pretty cool. Not really, but that's what always kind of worries. Again, that's what worries me about buying used cars out of fields. But that's half the fun. Let's see if this whole thing started. I can really smell the fuel, so I'm going to go ahead. Key on, let's see what we got. I might have just flooded it out. I might have to come back here later today and check this out. I don't know if I'm getting spark or not, so it's just me. EDC. Let's see. 11.7 to the points. 11.6 to the backside. So we're getting power. Step 2 would be to actually see if we're getting spark. Again, I put Marvel Mystery Oil in here. Ooh, that's cool. I can show you. Check out this belt. The outer skin's coming off. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say I can't take a trip with this car. It doesn't have brakes anyways. Oh. Alright, well, let's see how better. Ooh, don't do that. That just made it even worse down there. I don't have any water in the radiator, so if I do get it fired up, it's not going to run very long. I'll have to shut her down right away. If I can get the cap back on, there we go. All right, let's disconnect the battery and give it a little bit, see if it'll clear out the flood. We'll come back to this in like 30-40 minutes. So it's a little bit later, I think like an hour or so. Went and got a smaller hose for the fuel setup I was working with here. Let me get the camera situated better so you guys can try to see. So my problem is, whenever I fill it, I don't know if you could see that, I think it's leaking out that bottom gasket of the carburetor. So what I'm going to try to do here is we'll see if this thing will fire up. Hopefully it doesn't backfire, and hopefully I don't hydrolock it with all the gas. But the power valve was working, so that's good. That's a great start. And I don't know, it could be also the float was kind of sticking, because as you saw in the previous video, it decided to just kind of do its own thing, and the pin slides out. So let's get started here and see if we can get it going. All right, I'm going to hook the battery back up. Again, hopefully it doesn't explode. Oh, this is going to be tricky because I do need that. All right, let's do this. Jam that in there. That was a trick I was taught as a kid to help prevent stuff from flooding. All right. Or once it's flooded, to help kind of clear it out. I'm not going to put any more fuel in there, and the fuel line is not hooked up. So let's see what happens here. Now you don't want to run your starters consistently like that because it'll burn them up. They get hot. They're only made to run for so many hours. That's why they're not greasable. So I may just be way too flooded at this point. I may have to wait a couple days, which is a bummer because I was really hoping to move this car and wash it instead of having to just drag it around everywhere. So I may have to give the battery a charge. The battery hasn't been charged in a while. Actually, this battery is out of my other Nova, which broke the water pump shaft. So it's probably down a little bit on juice. That's fine. The idiot lights do work. It keeps popping up that the oil pressure light's coming on, and that's coming on when the car is not cranking over, and the generator light is coming on. So that's a good start. Like I said, I may have to give this a couple days. It's going to be like 100 degrees the next couple days, so it'll hopefully cook everything out of that intake, and then we can restart. Maybe I ought to pull that carburetor off. I don't know if it's a float or if it's a carb. It kind of sucks. I might have to, like I said, I'll probably end up charging the battery here. I was really hoping to get a video today, but it looks like that's not going to happen. Alright, but you know what? Let's just get a little frisky here. Let's get real frisky. Ooh, as you can see, it's leaking out the bottom of that carburetor. What a bummer. Huge bummer this is. Maybe got a vacuum leak too. That could be an issue. I mean, obviously I do got something because it is leaking out the, I don't know if I can see that on camera. It was leaking out down here. I'll do it again so you guys can see. But as I shot it, you can see that throttle shaft's leaking. Maybe I can get lucky and get the fire real quick. What a pain in the rear. Alright. So, this may end up being one of those crazy teaser videos like I keep doing, because I'm not having good luck today. Oh, let's see here. Let's let it set for a while. Oop, kick the camera. Not quite long enough. Okay. Well, the power valve works really well. That kind of sucks because it is squirting a bunch of fuel in there. You know what? Let's see if we're actually getting spark. I think we are because I saw a little bit of smoke in there, but we also could be like super flooded. So I think I'm gonna wait a couple days, let this thing mellow out, get some of that fuel out of there. It's obviously is holding fuel, so that's a good thing because that power valve keeps working. So there is a bit of fuel in there. Let's check spark real quick before I quit, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to see that, but hopefully you guys will be able to. And then I can just rewatch the video. Maybe I can. I personally could not really see that very well. Let me readjust this, wedge it up here. That's a good contact. Sure. That's a good contact. That's a good contact. Those points might be shot, so I may be having to put points in here. Alright. Let me turn this so I can kind of see it as well. Let's give this a second go. Let's try this again. Well, definitely not as loud as I thought it was going to be. Let's unplug this. We obviously know we're getting spark. Oh yes, that is a good feeling. That is a great feeling to know that your car actually runs. Oh boy, what a hoot that is. Heck yeah. Stoked. Let's get a better view of this exhaust. With that short of exhaust, whenever I've cut cars off, they've always been like super loud. This thing must have like zero compression. Granted, it's been sitting for 20 or 30 years now, I think. I think it was parked in the 90s. So we're probably up onto 30 years. But dang, that's super cool. Let's give this a go again. Let's try not to burn the place down. I'm going to put some water here into the radiator and try not to splash everything. I'll wet down the ground below me so I don't cause any fires. Make sure you guys can see the joy. Actually, to be honest, I may just JB weld this radiator. It'll be twice as easy. I think it's just right at the edge there. I need to circle them so I know where they're at. Okay, spray a bunch of water down here. Fill the car so nothing tries to catch fire, because there's a lot of cotton batting down there now. Alright, got the hose going. Let's see if we get this started again. I'm going to try filling it up with some gas. I'll let you guys watch how I did that. So I just got a hose that was about that size. I need to put the cap back on. I'm pretty stoked about this. This is nice. Okay, and then I just went bottle feed. Try not to do it right above it. Oop, making a mess. Do a little bit of gas. There we go. Pop that off. I didn't give it a lot. Give it a little. Let's see if we can get this thing started again. Well, there we go. We have a running vehicle. Hopefully that was a pretty cool show. I got some pressure now on the radiator, as you guys can see, because it is leaking everywhere. I can JB weld that. I know I can JB weld that. I don't know what this little leak is here, so I might just get a little bit of ours leak in there as well. Again, I don't know if I'm using this radiator or not, so we'll have to see. I think this is no, this is the big radiator. The smaller radiator comes in on the 194s, so this is a bigger radiator, much like what I had to buy. So I may end up trying to use this. It also has a fan shroud. My 66 doesn't have a fan shroud, and then when I sit in traffic or at a restaurant waiting to drive through, it does start to get a little warm. So that's pretty cool. Definitely gonna need a new belt. Here later, the next video, we will work on brakes and making sure the tranny's got some fluid in it so we can do some rolling. Maybe move it forward and wash it, which is kind of my big plan. Also so I could just move it out of the way. So stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.